All right, this is episode 445 of the 3G podcast. We're here for another week of inane gamer chatter, and it's been another slow week. I would, under normal circumstances, I'd say next week is going to pick up. Like, there's going to be a lot more to talk about. On paper, there is. We've got the Switch 2 launching in 4 days. But hey, Greg, how's your Switch 2 pre-order going?
Oh, not good. They completely forgot about me, and I forgot to, I remembered to save money, but my car was like, nah, you don't need that. So, not so good.
I mean, I technically have money. Not like long-term money, but current money. If I was, like, being wildly fiscally irresponsible, I could afford a Switch 2 right now, but fortunately, Nintendo decided to make it very clear that there was no compelling reason to pick one up at this point in time. I know Jared doesn't have a Switch 2 coming, so on paper, there are a lot of games launching on the 5th, which is the Switch 2's launch date. But none of us are participating in it. There's nothing on that system I even am remotely interested in. Now, actually, that's not true. That's not true. I am somewhat curious as to how Cyberpunk 2077 will run on the Switch 2. And I am going to make a prediction. Simultaneously, Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch 2 will run not great, but surprisingly better than everybody thought it would. Because I have faith in CD Projekt to actually get this game operational. So, that's probably the nicest thing you're going to hear me say about the Switch 2. Perhaps ever. Or at least until a Fire Emblem game comes out, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be really upset if there's a Fire Emblem game, like, coming out on the 8th or whenever the Switch 2 comes out.
I would be too, but I would honestly also probably be buying a Switch 2 if that was the case, because I'd probably be getting paid to write for it. Someone would pay me. Is he just spamming that attack again? I have nothing. But yeah, so, you know, the biggest day in gaming of this year, probably, especially since Grand Theft Auto 6 got delayed out to next year. We're not going to be talking about it because, frankly, I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly. Like, it's not like this new console of Nintendo's is that innovative. It's just an iteration on the Switch, which is fine. I mean, like, the real point of contention I have with it is 90% of his games are codes in a box, so what's the point of even owning the fucking thing?
Yeah, that's the biggest stinker of the thing as a whole, but, like, there will undoubtedly be some games where I will sit back and be like, damn, I want to play that.
Are there any now, though?
Fire Emblem being one of them, the inevitable Fire Emblem, the inevitable
Xenoblade, whatever.
Prime 4 will be a thing at some point. I know it's a joke right now, but it will be a thing at some point, I swear to God.
Xenoblade and Fire Emblem are the two games that will hopefully inspire me to get a Switch 2. But
you haven't been into those Zeldas either, but Zelda's a big seller.
You know, I had to do a guide for Tears of the Kingdom, and I only played about, like, 10 hours of Breath of the Wild, and I was thoroughly unimpressed by it. And I played a lot more Tears of the Kingdom, but I was mostly doing, like, shrines and mapping and stuff, so I had no real compulsion to make it. I also wrote up stuff about that sand village. You have to, like, jump in you have to, like, follow a river or some shit and jump in go up a well.
I actually haven't been that far.
I did that stuff. I did, like, I was going through all the heat management in the desert and whatnot. And I don't know. I found it profoundly okay. Like, I don't know, maybe if I was Maybe if I was 10, or if no, I don't know. Even as a 10-year-old, I don't think I'd have been enthralled by it, because I never really was that enthralled by any Zelda game. Even back when it would have been age appropriate for me to be more, I say age appropriate, like I'm not playing Fantasy Life right now. But,
well, lots of people love Zelda. And the Switch 2 will see a unique Zelda game at some point. The Switch 2 should see a new unique 3D Mario at some point.
The thing is, I honestly mean this. My gaming preferences are highly skewed by me playing on PC first. So I was exposed to different types of games before, like the NES starter crowd was. So I just expected a higher level of storytelling right from the outset. And frankly, I don't find any story in any Zelda game particularly compelling. It stinks of made for children. Complete just with the themes, the characters, the writing, all that. Just childish, baby shit. If Zelda pooped, its fucking poop would be soft and green, right? That's a fact.
Kids grew up with this, so whatever. We'll never agree.
No. Well, what's there to agree on? I don't like Zelda. I think
like Link to the Past. You would say that was made for babies.
Yes. Objectively made for babies.
I disagree.
Who do you think Link to the Past was made for?
Fucking kids.
Okay, babies.
Oh yeah, your concept of babies is way off, and this is because you're not a parent, and I get it. There's a vast ocean of difference between kids and babies.
Okay, let's make this clear.
Fast fucking ocean, buddy.
When I was a kid, all right, my dad was born in '85, right? My dad was fairly young when they had, like, 21, I think I was when they were 21 when I was born. So that just seems ridiculous to me. Like, thinking back to when I'm 40, I still don't have any kids. To be a parent, yeah. But he liked those, like, 80s, 90s Arnie flicks. And
who doesn't?
He was only going to moderate himself so much to be a parent. Like, I didn't grow up in a house. I can remember two things I wasn't allowed to watch. They rented a movie. I can't remember who all was in it. I think Sean Connery was in it. It was a movie called Rising Sun. My parents rented it, and me and my sister were watching it in the other room. And I was 7, 8 at the time, and for some reason my sister decided, what are you doing? Oh. But like me and my sister were watching that. She was like 18 months younger than I am. And I mean, like maybe this is not something kids should be watching. It's like, it's a murder mystery about prostitutes getting killed. I don't know, it's been forever since I've seen it.
Sure.
And there's some graphic parts to it, and I was just like, I was watching it, I was like, whatever, fine. Can't say I fully understood the nuance of it or anything at that age, but my sister just decided, she got a bug up her ass and went like, we are too young for this, and she told my parents and they wouldn't let us finish the movie. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But like the other thing I couldn't watch is that heavy metal animated thing.
Oh, I watched that. I was a teenager, but I watched that.
For some reason, I wasn't allowed to watch that at 10 or whatever. Is the mouse not working?
Yeah, it's got boobies in it.
Becca's having technical difficulties. But no, I wasn't allowed to watch that at like 10, 11. I don't know why. But like, I watch Terminator and Predator and shit like that, and there's no problems with that whatsoever. So, in the games I played when I was a kid, like, the first one I remember playing was Pool Rinks. I mean, that happens. Well, you're sitting there on the Control-Alt-Delete screen. I'm like, what the fuck do you do to that computer?
I was trying to see if it was, like, if it was completely frozen or the mouse was frozen.
Oh, okay. Anyways, Rebecca's trying to break our computer here. Although it's been 8 years, so, I mean, it's fairly old for a computer. Anyways, I'm just running around in circles. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. So, like, there's levels, right? There's kid shit, and then there's baby shit. And Zelda is definitely baby shit compared to Predator and Terminator and shit. So, and I do think, you know, Terminator, Predator, that stuff's age appropriate. That's age appropriate. If you're...
I was thinking, in the bathroom earlier today, I was thinking that Terminator 2 is okay for children.
Terminator 2 is definitely okay for children. Like, it's a lot less raunchy than the first Terminator.
I was thinking the violence.
Well, who cares? And I like
Parents.
who cares about the violence? Bitches care about the violence. That's
Listen,
who cares.
they had freaking the whole ESRB thing happen back then.
Yeah, I know. I was playing those games through it, Doom and Mortal Kombat, and I thought it was ridiculous then. So
My mommy didn't make me turn the blood off on.
And parents thought D&D was going to corrupt the youth. Remember?
and okay, but were they right about any of them? Have the parents ever been right
Just
on any of
because they
these
weren't
issues?
right doesn't mean it wasn't a huge media circus.
Okay, but
I mean,
they were.
OJ got off scot free, and you know, come on.
But they
Just 'cause
were
something.
But they were wrong. That's the
Yeah,
salient
I mean,
point
that
here.
doesn't-
They were wrong. We should
No,
not
no.
have an ESRB. Be a parent. You can gatekeep your own media. I don't think the Fed needs to be involved in it. As a
disagree.
big government lefty, think the government needs to be involved in a lot less shit than a lot of conservatives do. How the fuck does this happen? We don't need an ESRB.
Yeah,
we need,
maybe
we
you're
need
fake.
we need parents to actually do their fucking jobs. But they're so eager to hyperventilate about, like, whether other people's kids are getting fed, but can't take a moment out of their day to fucking scream something for the fuck off. Get out of here, losers. That's what sucks about this country. Everyone wants to be moralistic about shit that doesn't matter. But yeah, no,
I
like...
mean immoral, because they fucking want children to fucking starve.
Oh yeah, they want kids to starve. Oh, hold on, we got a comment. I should bring up my stream. I was never restricted from watching anything. If there was a sex scene, I had to close my eyes. I turned out okay. I mean, okay, I'll say this, because you brought up, like, sex scenes. And this is like
Well, why do you think you weren't allowed to watch heavy metal? There wasn't even sex, but it was...
No, there was sex. There was sex in there.
I don't recall there sex
No,
being in that
honest-
at all. I recall there being boobs.
No, there was sex. There was sex in there. I guarantee you there was. Huh?
I feel like
Heavy metal.
Oh.
They didn't show the functional bits, but it wasn't even implied. It was there. But
It wasn't even implied. How is it there then?
no, it was more than just implied. It was like a plot point. Anyways, the coldest hot take you will ever hear on this podcast is, like, okay, there's a sex scene in Terminator. I just found that embarrassing. I did not want to be watching that with my parents. I was like, oh.
Yeah, most kids don't.
Oh, that one.
I wasn't sitting there like, well, there's boobies on the screen. I guess I'm just gonna have to whip it out now. Get to work. Sorry, I'm starting puberty early because you showed me an R-rated movie. Like, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. So,
I also wasn't allowed to use this road.
see, but that's the thing. Like, Greg asked, why weren't you allowed to watch heavy metal? I don't know. That's the one I don't know, because, like,
We have it.
no, I know we have it. I bought it when I was an adult, because I was like, alright, no, I can buy my own shit now and no one can stop me. I'm gonna go see what the fuck this is
no
all
one
about.
can stop me. Yeah.
And I'm just like watching it, I'm like, I was watching way worse shit. Like, why did this cause a freak out? It wasn't even that big of a freak out.
The Crow I wasn't allowed to watch on my garbage work.
I honestly don't think I've ever sat down and watched The Crow. This
I
whole
watched
movie.
it anyway. My brother had a friend who had it.
I remember watching The Crow, actually.
Wolfen was because that gave my mom nightmares. She thought it would give us nightmares. The only movie that ever gave her nightmares.
But it was unjustifiable. It sucks.
It's a terrible movie.
It's boring.
And the Rising Sun one was because I believe there's also a rape scene in that.
Well, there's like a prostitute rape snuff scene in it.
Yeah.
Seen through like a CCTV or something.
Yeah.
And...
Well, it starts out not.
But I don't remember, like, I remember there's a twist to it. And I can't remember.
Make the VHS tape on the TV and then leaving us home alone so we just watched it. For Davey.
Oh yeah, of course, Davey.
I don't know if Davey was watching Wolfen.
He's like, I will honor my dead mommy's memory by never watching these completely lame movies that aren't remotely appalling or engaging. I don't know. And like, I would never have been prevented from watching something like Seven or American History X or either of those movies. If they came out when I was younger. I was still in my... I think Seven did come out when I was pretty young. Wasn't it like 90... I want to say it was like 92 to 94 or something like that. I'm gonna go look. I'm looking it up right now. 95. We split the difference.
Right in the middle of
Okay. Yeah, so I'd have been 10 when that came out, and I don't think I was that much older when I saw it. So... I don't know. It never made sense what I was allowed to watch and what I wasn't allowed to watch. And, you know, that being said, I wasn't not allowed to watch much. So... I don't know, in light of, like, my film tastes at the time and some other and I'm not saying I was playing, like, some fucking hardcore PC games or anything, but Pool of Radiance has a little bit more reading and a little bit more story than The Legend of Zelda. So I expected more. I also played those Sierra Adventure games. I played a lot of Quest for Glory, or, well, originally I was playing Hero Quest, but it eventually became Quest for Glory. And those don't have, like, big adult stories either, but they've got more dialogue than a Zelda game does. So...
Predator was one of the scarier movies to me, but only because my mom would mimic the Predator sound perfectly, and she would do that at random times out in the woods.
I went to see American Pie 2 in theaters with the Boys and Girls Club. Okay, maybe...
Oh, wow.
That's probably more inappropriate than anything I was allowed to do. I'll say that.
I blatantly stuck in this.
That person wins.
I don't think I've ever seen any of those American Pie movies. I've seen clips.
Oh no, it's scary movies.
Those,
which are very inappropriate for children.
I mean, they're meant for the horny teenagers. Bar, you know, that's the target audience.
Well, when I was a horny teenager, I had the internet, so...
Some of us didn't, Nathan.
Why am I gonna go... Why, Greg, why am I going to go pay to sit at a movie theater and be awkwardly horny in public when I can be comfortably horny in private for free?
At least it's dark.
Okay, Pee-wee.
That's the same question I ask about strip clubs.
Why anyone would go to a strip club?
Yeah.
Are you telling me you've never been to a strip club?
I've never been to a strip club.
No, I've never been to a strip club either. But I find it... That's true, that's true. I had friends that said they were going to take me to strip clubs. They never did. They welched.
See, it's even worse when you're with friends, is it not?
Well, no, I never went.
I mean, wouldn't it be?
I imagine? I don't know. See, okay, all this proves that Greg and I need to go to strip clubs. We will be the worst strip club.
Why, though? For what reason?
To be awkward in a strip club and have something to talk about on a podcast. It'd be funny.
Yeah.
So the lady had like cesarean scars, and I gave her like $10 in ones, and we were both kind of just disappointed, but didn't say anything. Like that's the experience I want to have at a strip club.
The pink lady.
No. They probably got better strip clubs in Virginia Beach. Yeah, I want to see the best fucking for rent pussy that Hopkinsville, Kentucky has to offer. That's what I'm looking for.
You're probably likely to get stabbed in the parking lot too. There's like regularly murders in Hopkinsville.
Yeah. Well, I'm aware that Hopkinsville has a murder rate per capita.
Big fish in a little pond.
Maybe just straight up murder.
See, that's one of the major reasons, I think, why I never actually went to a strip club. Like, I swear we just talked about the local strip clubs last podcast, didn't we? Yeah, okay.
I don't know why it's come up again.
I don't know. Strip clubs are just... They're on the menu recently. I guess they're a May thing, but now we're in June now, so I don't know why. Yeah, well, like, okay.
Oh god, it is June 1st, isn't it?
Well, I live near Clarksville, Tennessee, and, like, I don't know what Clarksville, Tennessee says to be. If you're a history buff, maybe it'll say, like, this is where the rail lines got laid down. It's funny, like, there's a town down the road called Dover, down Highway 79. And the people in Dover, they will insist, they are, like, still really bent out of shape about this, 150 years later. Not just the slavery thing. They're bent out of shape about that, too, I'm sure.
No, we mean the slavery thing.
But...
Yeah, zero context on that.
Well, this is a southern state. They like not doing work and getting paid for somebody else doing it. So, they're a bunch of lazy, evil moocher parasites, and the descendants thereof. So,
all right.
They're bent out of shape about the fact that they can no longer benefit from that. But another thing they're really bent out of shape about here is when the rail line got laid down, it went near Clarksville instead of Dover. And that's the reason, in their opinion, Clarksville has a population of like 180,000 and Dover has a population of, I don't even know what Dover has.
Like 7,000. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. No, you are out of your mind. 1,875 is the population of Dover.
Well,
So,
I overshot that by a lot.
Yeah, Clarksville is literally 100 times more populous, and the folk in Dover will tell you that if the rail lines had gone here instead of there, and they should have, they say they should have gone there because they've got better access to the Cumberland, which I don't believe. Like, I can see why the rail lines went where they did. But anyways, that's why Fort Campbell is where it is. That's why Clarksville's so big. Blah 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 blah. But they're really bent out of shape about that. And so, like, Clarksville isn't tiny. It's like the 5th largest city in the state of Tennessee. Caveat: Tennessee. And it's got a military base. It's got a college, a state college. So there is a little bit of diversity there, I guess. But still, nothing screamed, I've got to see the girls of Clarksville, Tennessee. Like, Miami Beach, this is not.
I was sad that I didn't get to see the little person dance.
Oh, right, there's supposed to be a little person stripper. At Cat West, yeah. Oh well, she's dancing in heaven now. No, she's probably alive. I don't know. She's probably up in Hopkinsville. What the fuck else is she gonna do? Her skill set is basically nil. Like, what is she qualified to do as a midget stripper? I guess you could get into guide writing. That's the only other profession that takes no fucking talent. Portland strip clubs aren't worth it either. You'd think Portland would be better off than Clarksville. I don't know. So you've gone to a strip club. You're actually the only one here who's gone to a strip club.
What, the person in chat?
The person in chat, yeah.
One out of rated
4.
out of 10.
Burlesque show.
Of course I haven't been to a burlesque show. The fuck burlesque show?
That'd be more entertaining than a strip club, I feel.
It probably would be. Okay, so this is a fishing one.
I've been to one.
4 out of 10.
Unfortunately, I went with my dad when
You went with your dad when you were 16. What a loser.
he didn't know what it was.
Well, he found out. Did you ever make him take you to one of those, Rocky Horror Picture Show things? Oh, okay, so they were the same thing. I was gonna say, because you made him do that, I don't know how we would even tell the difference between the two, honestly. But I guess there was no difference, so... Good instincts there, I guess.
He had a really good time.
I do something new every year for my birthday, and I went to each. Man! Now I feel like I'm underachieving. Like, I did nothing for my birthday.
Yeah,
Hey, you had
I'm about to turn 40 and I feel like I should do something.
Strip club!
Strip club?
why does Parkville not have one? There is
Maybe I'll go to Portland for one.
You go to Portland for a strip.
Yeah.
No, that's a good question. Like, Clarksville has a lot of sex shops. They gotta feed that military community, you know? But...
there's a drag car in Hopkinsville.
Why is Hopkinsville so oddly progressive?
I don't know if it's still there.
Oh.
It opened like a couple years ago.
Keep it up. I'm going to lie down.
Please. Every pasture probably goes there for fun. And I can...
Well, they have like kid-friendly nights too, so.
Kid-friendly nights at the cross-dressing bar. Okay.
I would go watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show for sure. That
Greg-
would be fun.
Something wrong with
Greg says he'd go watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Greg. Greg said he would.
That was all smooth
Yeah.
sailing.
Becca loves that shit.
great.
I would not go with her. So you two can go to that shit. She made me sit through that fucking
It's
terrible...
basically a musical.
I know, that's what I was getting at. She made me sit through that terrible, Les Mis movie.
No, that was a mistake.
That was terrible. That was awful.
Yeah, I regret that. Not for you, but for me.
Oh my god. All I learned is Catwoman cannot sing. That was the major takeaway from that.
He's on your side.
I think, what's his name? The guy who did Borat was the best part of that.
He was. Him and, Helena Bonham Carter. They were great.
I don't know
But
who
she's
that is.
always fucking great.
I don't know who that is.
The female that was with him.
The female.
She's a crazy ass lady, but she's fucking fantastic. She's also Bellatrix in the Harry Potter.
Oh, okay, that's where I know. That's where I know.
And, she's in Sweeney Todd, which I don't think you watched.
I don't think so either.
And in, Fight Club, she's that crazy ass lady that keeps going over there and
Oh, I didn't know that.
taking Edward Norton over. She's fucking great. She's fantastic. Plays unhinged very well. And she's got a very unique look, too. So she's not one of those actresses where they just kind of blend in with each other and you can't remember who they are.
Why do you hate Trinity from The Matrix so much?
She looks sticky!
You know, we're only getting half of this conversation, right?
Yeah, yeah. She's talking about how she likes,
And she's
whatever her
boring.
name is.
She likes
Or she
Borat.
looks sticky.
No. She likes the... What's the name of that actress?
My wife.
Rebecca?
Which actor?
Elena Bonaparte?
Elena Bonham.
Bonaparte, I barely know her.
I don't know. She likes that actress, I guess.
I don't know anything else. Trinity's been
But
in.
she doesn't like the actress who plays Trinity from The Matrix.
No, I don't like the character Trinity.
Okay, she doesn't like the character Trinity. The
I've
actress
never
is
seen her in anything else.
because she looks sticky, apparently,
And she's
She looks sticky.
and
huh?
she's boring. Everyone in that movie is boring.
I like
It's-
Morpheus.
It's like the most fart sniffingest movie of all time. It really is. I don't know. I was just thinking about The Matrix earlier, and I'm not really quite sure why.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. I was having like an argument with myself in my head. Like there are like three types of there are three types of plot that I was thinking of, and like one of them is just like three different ways to have a good story in something, and one of them was I'm trying to think of the three different ones now, or the best ways to put them. One is like the sustained arc. I don't want to do. I keep doing the wrong thing because I'm not paying attention. Where like the story just kind of tells you, like leads you on a linear path, A to B to C, and like characters grow and develop and things happen, and it's just like really well told. And like I think Baldur's Gate is mostly one of those lines where it's just kind of like your general heroic story. And then you have stories that are really good because they have like a really great twist in them, a swerve, bro. And I think of BioShock for that. And then you have stories that are really good because they're just like, they're great allegories for things.
Oh!
What?
There's another one in here, so it was you.
Who?
Fart. Dog fart.
What dog?
Doodle.
Rebecca is blaming my sweet innocent baby puppy of farting.
You could be outside.
Yeah, you got a house full of farting corgis.
They do fart. But like, The Matrix is one of those stories that's a really good allegory, albeit one which everybody misses the allegory for. I don't know why I was having this thought in my head. And of course, most stories are actually like combinations. You don't just have the one. Like there's usually a swerve in there somewhere. There's usually some allegory going on, but
People miss the point of Fight Club. All the time.
well, there's a couple of running threads with Fight Club.
There are. It has swerve. It has,
Nope, that's not what I want to do.
your allegory.
But I vote that Rebecca get off her ass and play some AI Somnium Files.
I know, it's like, well, 20 plus days. Well,
Because I cannot restrain
Listen,
Greg
she
from
says
moving
that
on
she
to the second
likes
game
it.
forever.
she says she likes it, but her actions prove otherwise.
You guys ready?
Am I crazy?
No. Apparently Neo Seeker already has a guide for the second one.
Yeah.
But not the first one or the third one. So,
Don't know
anyways.
how that happens, but okay. Well, the third one isn't out yet. I get that.
The third one makes sense
You ready for this?
with the concept of the end of the first one and
Okay. Who told you that?
that caller.
Okay. Okay.
That they're regret
They
messing
did
with me.
What was that?
the third one until I told them about it, but I just kept the friends and they're like, oh yeah,
Rebecca has a caller who, like, she has to answer calls that aren't strictly medical in nature because I don't know why. She's forced to just talk to people.
I'm going to lie down.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's a
suicide hotline,
right?
but it's also like a crisis forwarding thing. So I really don't think they should just allow people to make house calls and be like, I'm lonely, I need to talk. So get a fucking friend. Sorry, get a fucking friend.
There's other aspects to why that person.
Yeah, no, don't get. Yeah, we don't need it. But one of the people that calls her at her work talks to her about video games. And what does he call you, SMT girl or something? He calls her SMT because they've talked about SMT and Persona before, even though she's never played SMT. She's told him that her husband writes guides and plays Persona and so I guess, and she sits here and plays these games vicariously through me by watching me play them. So I guess she's seen enough of them to carry out a conversation to some extent, and she's been playing the AI Somnium Files, and this guy was talking about it, and he says that the trailer for the third game makes sense in context with the ending of the first game and the events of the second game.
Forge ahead.
So apparently the second game is going to explain this. Greg and I had to,
Believe in yourself.
We were guessing about why.
we had to guess why, but I can't tell Rebecca our guesses or let her participate, otherwise it would spoil the first game, which she has yet to play! So, but
It's her own fault.
we did log some guesses as to how this could happen, and, see, you're not just disappointing the podcast, you're disappointing your own callers now. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Clearly.
you're a bad wife, you're a bad podcaster, you're a bad friend, and you're a bad psychologist, because you're not playing AI the Somnium Files. And that's just a fact, okay?
Friend.
Greg and Jared.
What?
Aren't they your friend? They're disappointed. Well, Jared's
Jared
fine.
gives a shit.
I don't know.
On your side.
Jared, he's not here to tell you, but he's definitely disappointed.
Jared, yeah, he's definitely feeling those disappointment vibes.
Just trust us.
Play it?
He played some of it, but he apparently isn't playing enough of it to keep up. Anyways,
Well then, fuck you.
yeah, I don't know if he's further.
Probably behind me.
He might be. I don't know at this point. It's not like you're giving him that much competition.
I've given him the fucking good fucking. Yeah.
You had a head start.
And he's had 2 weeks to catch up.
Jared hasn't played Mass Effect. He hasn't played BioShock. He hasn't played Skyrim. Like, there's so many holes in Jared's catalog of games. Like, I feel a little bit of shame and embarrassment about the games that I haven't played, but like,
Well-
a little bit embarrassed that I've never beaten a Tales game.
I couldn't play Mass Effect because I would.
You didn't beat Tales of Arise?
No.
Because I couldn't play it with mine because it just seemed wrong.
Okay, that is not an excuse.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. That is not an excuse.
Well, I also saw a lot of it,
So what?
and I can't play BioShock because it gives me panic attacks.
Okay, well, yeah, she can't play BioShock because it gives her panic attacks. That's fair. It's not like the enemies give her panic attacks, it's the music.
And the game is
Mute it.
Greg says mute it.
no, I can't play games on mute, especially when their fucking music has such a great ambiance.
Well, you can't play the game because of the music!
But I can't play it without the music because then it's just shit.
Oh my god! She's sitting there using, like, I can't play Mass Effect because I saw you play it too many times, and I can't make my own character because your character is like the canon character in my head.
It is. It's super mine, and then mine looks like shit. Because it's like,
How does mine not look like shit?
no, like, my brain just can't have that character.
That's fair,
Wrong.
that's fair. I can't,
Wrong.
I honestly,
And I'm definitely not playing Male Chef because his voice is so fucking bad. Can't do it.
she refuses to play Male Shepherd because his voice is so bad, yeah.
I even tried to make a really awesome looking
Don't
black dude,
think I'll
but
go
he
easy on
didn't have that fucking voice. And no, doesn't work.
Rebecca needs a voice change mod for Mass Effect.
Rebecca needs way more therapy is what it sounds like.
She doesn't have oh yeah, she does, never mind.
I have what?
Therapy. Don't you have calls? Or maybe that's something else. I can't remember.
Psychiatry.
Oh, psychiatry. I don't know what the difference is.
Medicine versus therapy.
Oh, okay.
Not medicine. medical therapy. But whatever, I don't do therapy. I don't need.
Follow my lead.
Did you play Fem Shep or Male Shep when you played Mass Effect, Greg?
Keep it
Then,
up.
just because I heard that rumor.
I mean, it's not a rumor. Like, it's fact.
Well,
I've done.
whatever it was, I heard it.
I played through the first Mass Effect many times. And I tried to play a male Shepard, and his voice is so bad. I
It's
couldn't
probably
make.
not even that bad.
It's not
Probably
Jennifer
just
Hale.
She's better.
Way better.
I'll go easy on you.
Way better. Her voice acting. Okay, it's like the difference between a real. It's the difference between. Okay, I got a gender swap here. It's the difference between like Asterion on Baldur's Gate 3 and the like female protagonist from Fallout 4. It's like if I had to choose between one of those two voice actors, my character would be male, so I could use the Asterion voice actor because he's just way better at his job. No shade on who. Okay, a little bit of shade on the person who did the Fallout 4 voice acting, but you weren't given the best material to work with. Like when you're told to respond with your 4 dialogue options, and they're, huh? What? Yeah, God, that's so bad. I like voice protagonists, but you got to do a little better than that. Hi, Joker. Did you get a bone? The guy's was better. Yeah. Okay. They were both really good with one thing. If you had that idiot
Yeah, the
savant perk,
sarcastic voices was good.
that idiot savant perk.
They just leaned into that.
They really just like uncorked all their personality into that idiot savant perk.
Keep it up.
I don't know why, but they
That was
should
my
have.
funnest playthrough, was that idiot savant.
Because well, you like every 5 kills, you like, oh my god, they can't emote any other time in the whole fucking game. But then like these voice lines they do for idiot savant are just the most personable, great thing in the world. It's like you should have had this much freedom and energy to be this stupid with the rest of your lines. But God, here we are talking about nothing. Rebecca, quit making excuses to go play Mass Effect.
Don't think I'll go easy on you.
I will give you permission to play my Shepard, so you can enjoy it properly. But first, you got to beat AI the Somnium Power.
Where's this?
And at some point, I'm going to have to sit here and play an... See, that's why I have to play an SMT game, Greg. You keep asking why I feel compelled to play an SMT game. Well, one...
Because she's telling people that you're playing all of these.
Yeah. Well,
And
no,
you're not?
I've technically never played an SM... Well... Persona
That's
is
what
an
I'm saying.
SMT
It's
game, but
a-
it's also not anymore.
You're living a life of lies.
I didn't tell her to say that.
It's true.
That I played SMT. Oh. I do. Well, I own like 2 of them. No, I'm talking about. I own SMT. What SMTs do I own? 3. I own SMT 4. I own Strange Journey. SMT 4 Apocalypse. SMT 5.
You want an encore?
Did you know that SMT was based off like a book series, Greg?
I did.
I didn't learn that until like a month ago.
I've done my homework.
But you've never played an SMT game.
No. Well,
So
I've never
why-
beaten one anyways.
So why don't you feel compelled to play an SMT game?
Yeah, too many other things.
Is it just because they're like dungeon RPGs that don't have all the bells and whistles of a Persona game?
Work already?
Into kitchen. Yeah, I mean, I'm not... I don't know, I just don't feel beholden.
Don't think I'll go easy on you.
Oh, you'd be a nice feather in the cap to say you played one of them.
I mean, I've played them, I just haven't beat them.
So which one have you gotten the furthest in?
That wasn't so bad.
Probably Nocturne.
Okay, SMT 3.
Yeah. Even
And
that
again-
one, like, they don't seem to be that well received, because they seem to get real cheap, real fast. I don't know.
Greg's one of those, SMT is just the embryo from which Persona emerged people.
Yeah. Well, I tried playing the first Persona games too. Like, Persona 1 and 2 are just not that fun. They're interesting stories and setting and character, but, like, as much as it cringes me to say this, one doesn't live on story alone. Not if you're not a visual novel.
I think, okay, this is the most controversial thing I will say on this podcast. Sanding the rough edges off things and making them less difficult and more accessible
I'm going to lie down.
often is a good thing. I think Fire Emblem did that and became way more successful, and I think that's kind of the same thing that happened with, like, like, Persona will still rat fuck you with RNG. It absolutely will. But
Keep it up.
Persona's also, and maybe this is just me, but, like, in all the Persona games I played, you can get overpowered to the point where most enemies, except for bosses, don't really have a chance to rat fuck you with like, that's the way you
Well, that's
you deal with
what you
RNG.
want too, right?
Yeah. That's the way you deal with RNG in Personas. You just don't give the game the opportunity to rat fuck you. Because they will. They will. You fuck up on that first turn and you don't just, you're either wiping the enemy out without losing any resources, or you are fighting for your life in a lot of those games. And there is no middle ground a lot of the time. When a little thing goes wrong in a Persona game, it all starts to go wrong. At least that's been my experience. It's not universal, but it happens enough that it's kind of a theme. Even with enemies that you don't really expect to be difficult, it's just like, oh, I took this fucker for granted. Now I fucking missed an attack, or I fucking attacked him when he had Tetrakarn up or some crap.
Yeah, but the like Persona 3-4, it's had way better gameplay mechanics and more importantly the sim aspect than 1 and 2 did.
Well, they were easier and more forgiving, less punishing, but less, yeah. I think a big reason why people like the newer Persona games is they're not a pain in the ass to play. I'm watching these gnarly videos of him play these old games, and I'm like, I think I can just watch this one. I don't know. I'm a little sus about some of his playthroughs where he's like, and then I got this item which only has a 1 and 256 chance of spawning. I'm like, well, ain't that fucking lucky? I guess if you get that 0.5% drop, you can cakewalk your way through half the game. Oh, so I got a mind. Alright.
Believe in yourself and forge ahead.
I don't know. Alright, let's get to some news. There's not a whole bunch of it this week. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 2D HD Remake. HD 2D, sorry. I always get those confused. Whether it's supposed to be HD 2D or 2D HD. Who will launch for PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, Switch 2, and PC via Steam in the Microsoft Store on October 30th for $60. Publisher Square Enix and developer
Believe in yourself.
ArtDink Corporation announced. The Switch 2 version is newly announced. Pre-orders are available soon. You are a ginormous cuck if you buy this on Switch 2. I just gotta be honest. Like, you're an idiot. You're a moron. You're a buffoon. You're a clown. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're making gaming worse for literally every consumer if you buy it on Switch 2.
Jeez.
Sorry, that's just a fact. That's just a fact. I gotta be real. Because I'm pretty sure it's a... I don't think I actually know whether it's a game, like a game key card or not, but I'm going to hedge my bets and say, like, these games are not going to take up enough storage capacity to be worth putting on a 64GB cartridge. And if Square Enix didn't feel compelled to put Bravely Default on a proper cartridge, they're not going to do it here either. That's my guess on this, so don't buy it. If you gotta buy it on Switch, buy it on the Switch 1. Like, at least then you'll own it. Stop being an idiot and letting these corporations like rat fuck you and take away your ownership. No
I'm a
good
big
reason
fan
for
of
it.
owning things.
As well you should be. Also, Greg, did you know there is a collector's edition
Already?
for Dragon Quest 1 and 2
Yeah,
2D HD?
I saw it, and it looks like one of the worst fucking... Square Enix cannot do good collector's editions anymore. They had some good ones in the past, but it's been several years.
When's the last good collector's edition Square Enix has
I
had?
like Final Fantasy 12 quite a bit.
The collector's edition?
Yeah,
With those
I
little
bought that one when it went on sale.
with those little judge busts?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember out of that one.
You ready for this?
I'll tell you the last Square Enix collector's edition I remember thinking was good. And that's Nier Automata, the black box edition.
Yeah, that one costs like $1,000 now or something, huh?
No, I think it's only like 400.
You want an encore?
It was like 120 when it launched, I think. And I wasn't smart enough to get it for that price, but I got it later off of eBay. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't 400. I'll tell you that much. I'll go price check that. Well, no, that had like a figure, a steelbook, the game, some other stuff in there.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get a steelbook nowadays.
Well, that's the thing. Like I haven't been impressed by their Final Fantasy VII collector's editions. They do come with like a really big statue, right? But at least that feels like they're trying. But I'm not spending like $250 for a fucking statue. You know, maybe that's just me, but I'm not doing it. Oh my God, this Nier Automata collector's edition is worth way more than I thought it was.
See, I was closer, wasn't I?
Well,
Or was I?
It's all over the place. This is the Japanese edition. I don't have that. I don't want to look at the Japanese edition. Well, someone's trying to sell it for $12.50, and I don't think it's worth that. Because you got someone else here for $4.50. Guys, I just want to see what's inside it. I can't remember anymore. There's a lot of them from Japan. Wow. Look at that, Rebecca. That's not in any better condition than mine. I think mine has been opened. But I can't remember. I honestly don't know if it has been. Alright, here I can see what's inside it. Steelbook case, a statue, a soundtrack, the game, a hardback art book, and, of course, the collector's box. Yeah, it's kind of everything I want in a collector's edition. You know, art books, soundtrack, steelbook. I could do without the figure. Whatever. But, yeah, okay, so this Dragon Quest 1 and 2 collector's edition comes with, I think, the game and like 10 acrylic standees or some shit. It's $150. Oh, some digital swag too, some digital shit. Which
I like digital. Yeah, there's a lot of digital. Ooh, I stepped on something. There's a lot of digital shit in there, if I remember right.
yeah, but like, how much of it's gonna be? How much of it am I one even gonna use, and two is not gonna be obsolete within like 5 minutes of gameplay? So that's what all this
it's
digital
like shrink
stuff
up
is.
seeds and all that shit.
Yeah, it's like, no, I don't need that.
You're gonna have the best level 5 to 10 character that Dragon Quest has ever seen.
Especially since they're probably gonna sell like a digital deluxe that has all that shit in it anyways.
Keep it up.
They want $150 for this, so you're paying like $50 for the game and then $10 per standee. And I'm pretty sure I've been vocal about this in the past, but acrylic standees are like the most useless thing you can shove in a collector's edition. They really are. Like, I'm not a big fan of figures, mostly because I just don't think they're worth that much. Like, I'll be perfectly happy with Rebecca getting me a $7 to $10 figure off of Temu or something, but the idea that I'm gonna like
$7 figures are $50 now, thanks to tariffs.
yeah, that's not a thing anymore. I mean, they used to be and they should be, and there's no reason why they're not, except for we've got a fucking idiot moron pussy in the White House that's starting a trade war that we can't win. But anyways, they're not something I value to the point where I want to spend any serious amount of money on a figure, no matter how cool it is. And I'm like, that's not even a universally held opinion in this household, because remember, Rebecca got herself that expensive Geralt statue a while back for like $300.
Well, that's the other thing. Sometimes, like, especially when it comes to statues, there's only like two real reasons I'll buy a statue. It's either real cheap, or it's something I really am a fan of, you know?
Yeah, but like...
So how many things are you a real fan of, you know? Per person.
Oh, per person.
Yeah, see, it's only gonna be a handful.
Even then, like I'm a pretty big fan of FemShep and Mass Effect. I'm a pretty big fan of man, I like Geralt's pretty cool. I like a lot of the Persona characters. There's figures I would conceivably buy.
Then the other thing you gotta think of is space.
I don't have space, and like Final Fantasy, there's some I could conceive of somebody crafting. Like when I say I'm a fan of these things, I could conceive of somebody crafting a quality price point statue of about $60 that I would feel okay buying, right? Yeah, but if it was like really good quality and like just really checked off boxes, there's a couple of things that I'd consider buying for $60. Like
Wait, how much were
those Final Fantasy VII ones, those are about Sephiroth was more. I think he was about 60, 70, but Cloud and Aerith were both 50. So no, that's about where my price point is for a really cool figgy. About $60. Would I spend like $60 on a really cool 2B statue? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think she's that interesting of a character.
We have a bunch of TV statues.
Yeah, we didn't have to spend nearly that much for him. Byleth, maybe Byleth. Not Toothpaste Chan, no, not Toothpaste Chan.
Wasn't so bad.
No way.
No, she's not that interesting, sorry.
This is very engaging.
I mean, I had fun with Engage through the first playthrough, but I was willing to play through Fire Emblem Three Houses 3 times, and I still kind of want to go back and play it again sometimes, so...
Yeah, which is crazy in and of itself, really, when you think about it.
It is crazy. It is crazy. Maybe, the only way I could see myself going back to play Three Houses again is if I did the full Edelgard route. Because I did Golden Deer, and I think that's the best route.
I would have to go play the DLC. That's the only way I'm doing it.
DLC is it's okay. It's okay. It's not great.
There's a bunch of kids underneath the academy you didn't know about. The secret house.
Yeah, it's like not even a house. There's like 4 of them. No, like that stuff was stupid. That was stupid. But whatever. They had to get 4 characters into the game somehow. Oh, I know. They could just be like late enrollees. No, that's too much thought. But no, I did the Golden Deer and Blue Lions. I think Golden Deer's the best. Objectively the best.
You did Blue Lions?
I did Blue Lions, yeah.
I thought I did Blue Lions.
No, I played through it. You wrote the Blue Lions up. But I did a Blue Lions playthrough.
Oh, Dimitri's a little bitch.
He is. Yeah, he is. He's...
And then turns into, like, the baddest of asses.
He's like that. I think Dimitri's actually a really good character. He's a legit compelling reason to play Blue Lions. We all have to acknowledge that Dedu is the best character in that, or Dudu is the best character in that route. He's the best character in the Blue Lions. He is.
Smooth sailing.
I like Annette and Mercedes, but let's be fair, they both will join you no matter what house you're on, so... Not that compelling a reason to play Blue Lions, honestly. Sylvain, I liked him too in his character arc, but I was playing female Byleth the whole game, and Sylvain will just outright abandon his entire fucking house and family to go fucking be in your class if you're female Byleth and just ask him. He's like, Boner says yes. I still think that is...
How else is he going to hit all that?
I still think that is fantastic characterization there. That's just like...
Random crazy.
Yeah, dogs have decided to be crazy out of nowhere. Who's Zumi attack? Oh, Zan? Or is that Moxie? Oh, that's Zan. Okay.
Doodle chased, or one of them chased the other two down the hall. And then Zan crazy licked me, and then Yangus crazy licked me while
Okay. The dog is apparently being crazy. Zan wants to go on a walk. Anyways. I also played the church route, which is the Black Eagles route, but you wuss out when it comes to the like Civil War part. Which is objectively the worst route because it's basically like Golden Deer without any of the Golden Deer specific things. Like, it doesn't fully tell you all the story. You don't get Claude. You don't get Hilda. It's bad. It's bad.
Hey, Hilda's one of the best parts. I think she gets ridiculously good.
She's pretty strong.
Always on your side.
She's pretty strong. I think I don't know who the best
Always on your side.
like house leader is. I kind of feel like Edelgard needed spells to really set her apart because her going Armored Lord seems like a throwback to older Fire Emblem games, but
Yeah, she's basically female Hector.
yeah, I just don't find her
Which
super.
is what made her real popular because Hector's been an underwhelming, well, not underwhelming, underappreciated character for years and years and years.
I just don't feel like she's all that standout as a unit on the battlefield. Like, there's a lot of characters that can get really strong and tank hits, and at the end of the day, like, the two things that I found most useful in my playthroughs were attack range and movement speed, and she's got neither. So I actually think Claude might be the best one, because his stats are kind of mediocre, but he's a bow user on a fucking wyvern. Like, do you understand how ridiculous his range is at the end there?
Yeah, they've had that before.
Like, he can just reach out and fucking touch things. Like, if he wants to delete any one unit halfway across the map, he can probably do it.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for staying alive too.
Well, that's the thing. You But, like, if he uses some of his special attacks, he can be sniping things through buildings. Like, he's at no risk of reprisal.
Keep it up. I'm going to lie down.
I don't know. And then, I can't remember if the flying units get Kanto, where he can, like, take an extra move after his turn. I can't remember if that's another Fire Emblem or... Anyway. He was very rarely at risk of... And he would be able to get within, like, 3 squares of an enemy mage... put holes in them, and then fly away. No risk of reprisal whatsoever. I don't know. I thought he was a good character. Anyways, so I'd probably have to do Black Eagle route, just because it'd be somewhat new, but I'd be missing Golden Deer the whole time. I really would. Oh well.
I'll show you what I really got.
You just go YouTube their story beats. That's all you have to really do.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it all with Rebecca's playthrough, and Oh, Joker and Yangus are playing. And those are two contentious dogs. So anyways, Square Enix, bad at collector's editions and have been a long time.
Keep it up. I'm going to win.
Sadly.
Like, if you're paying $150 for acrylic standees, I guess the nicest thing I can say is you're way more of a Dragon Quest fan than I am, because they're not getting my money for that.
Yeah, maybe they're rich. They don't care. Maybe money is no obstacle.
Even if I was a millionaire, I would not be buying this.
Yes, you would.
No, I would. I guarantee you I wouldn't. I would buy stupid stuff, but I am still insulted by the value proposition of this. I'd be like, I'm pretty sure there's a dumb magic card I could buy instead, you know? I don't know. Total sales for turn-based RPG Clear Obscure Expedition 33 have surpassed 3.3 million units. I see what they did there. 33 days after release, publisher Kepler Interactive and developer Sandfall Interactive announced. They like their threes, if you haven't guessed. Total worldwide shipments and digital sales for the Neo series have surpassed 8 million units, publisher Koei Tecmo and developer Team Ninja announced.
I'm a Neo fan.
Turn-based RPG remake Front Mission 3 will launch for Switch on June 26 for $35. Publisher Forever Entertainment, developer Megapixel Studio announced. I'm waiting for this to come on to PlayStation. I've learned my lesson. It will be on PlayStation eventually. I will buy it then. We're getting there, Greg. We're getting there. We're so close to Front Mission 4. We're so close to Front Mission 4. I really like that game. I really, really like that game. So I gotta find a Dragon Tree Horn. A Dragon Tree Horn. And it comes from cutting down some tree. What a pain. What a pain. And the last bit of news we have here, roguelike action game sequel Wizard of Legend 2 will leave early access and launch for PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC via Steam on June 12th. Publisher Humble Games and developer Dead Mage announced. Okay, that makes sense. Dead Mage.
Dead Mage?
I figured it was Boss Tree and Treasure Grove, but I really don't want to do it. Well, if you've ever played one of those games, that makes actually we should. No, I'm gonna go look before I say anything. Do they not actually have a page for it? We should actually ask Howard to do a guide for Wizard of Legend 2.
What is that?
It is a roguelike game where you play a wizard, you go through dungeons, you get random spell pickups, and you just gotta survive till the end. It's kind of like Rogue Legacy, but not as interesting. I think it's the hardest platinum I've ever gotten. And I did a guide for the first game, and I probably shouldn't be trying to tempt fate by doing a guide for the second game, because I feel lucky getting out of that game with a platinum and a complete guide. But I did do their guide for the first Wizard of Legend, so I mean, if anyone's going to do Wizard of Legend 2, it might as well be Greg doing most of the work with me doing media. Where's this?
I don't know if I like the sound of it.
I thought it was alright, but man, it was rough. It's like the only 7 out of 10 platinum difficulty game I've... No, that's a lie. People have given The Witcher 3 a 7 out of 10, but let me tell you what. Witcher 3, way easier to platinum than Wizard of Legend. Way easier, in my humble opinion. Yeah. It's one of those games where you just gotta learn. You gotta learn what spells you need, and you gotta get lucky on a route, and you gotta learn the boss moves, Greg. You gotta dodge. Gotta do a little
Yeah,
bit
I
of
mean-
getting good.
Let's just do Dark Souls.
No, let's not.
Coward.
I greatly dislike Dark Souls games. I really dislike them.
Oh, I'm aware.
I don't find them interesting or engaging in the slightest. And it's not really the mechanics, because I play other games that have similar mechanics.
Back to
I don't know, there's just something about it that I just find annoying. Probably because of how much everyone else fillets them for little cause.
Yeah, you can't like anything other people like.
And I like lots of things other people like, just not this. Oh, there we go. Yes, nobody else likes Baldur's Gate 3. I was the only one standing up for this game.
Oh, shut up.
Of course you're not going to sell me anything, but I will buy some of these because this is a pain in the ass to find.
I'm trying to platinum this Dave the Diver, and it's got a lot of petty little trophies you got to do.
I thought you said you beat it, you didn't platinum it. Okay. That's all the news. Greg, what game did you beat since the last time we talked?
What, Dave the Diver?
Wasn't it Doom?
Doom?
Yeah.
I beat Coffee Talk 2.
We're not talking about Coffee Talk 2.
Why not? It's a game I've beaten.
How was Coffee Talk 2?
It was good.
Okay. Well, that was engaging. All right, so let's talk about fucking Doom in the Dark Ages, and say more than it was good.
Oh my goodness! What is so wrong with it is good? Now, let's real quick. Coffee Talk. They bring back a lot of the characters from the first one. I actually cried at the end, and not because of
like real cry.
Yeah, show on the verge.
So your eyes were a little bit watery.
Yeah.
All right.
Close to crying.
But not after the first one.
It's spoilery reasons.
But the first game didn't make you almost cry, so this is like the power of sequels.
Maybe? No, it wasn't. I don't think it was that much due to the game, but I can't tell you without ruining it.
Okay, well that's fine.
But they did, the main girl from the first one, she is nowhere to be seen. She's gone. But the, like the pairs, the couples that were in the first game, they're still there. Like, I don't know if you remember the couples at all. And
no,
to be fair,
I barely played the first one.
I feel like it would be really hard to remember after, like, a year or two. You didn't beat, I thought you beat the first one.
No, I played it. I didn't get that far through it.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of couples in it. And they all return for this one. So it's kind of like meeting up with people you've talked to before, I guess. But that's, I mean, you probably could have guessed that.
I will say that, like, sequels and nostalgia go a long way. A long way for me.
You ready for this?
Yeah, so you'd like it. And you will play them in order at some point, I imagine.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we'll do it on Visual Novel Book Club.
Yeah, maybe we will. Speaking of Visual Novel Book Club.
Rebecca, Jared. You know what? No, maybe that's something that like I can do here real quick while they finish up AI, so we can move on to Nirvana Initiative. Oh, are you going to try to sell? Are you going to try to sell Rebecca that Nirvana Initiative Collector's Edition? Is that where you were going to?
Is she interested?
It's the second AI game.
I will accept it for free.
Did she tell me to go fuck myself?
No, she said I will accept it for free.
For free?
Supposedly, it is nowhere near as good as the first.
That her caller said that the second game is nowhere near as good as the first game.
What? Why is she ruining this for us?
I don't know. Rebecca, why are you ruining things for us? I mean, I'd have to play through it. It looks like the price for this is going anywhere from $85 to $120 on eBay, the collector's edition. I see one idiot
Let's cut it down the middle and call it 100.
You ain't paying $100 for a collector's edition this day.
What?
I see one idiot has graded it, got it put in a box, and is trying to sell it for $500. Look, buddy. Look, buddy. I'm sorry that you got scammed into spending money on getting something graded, but that doesn't mean the rest of us are going to suffer because of it.
Right.
Like, that is the dumbest thing I see people do all the time is pay to get something graded and then try to upcharge it to everybody else.
Yeah, most collectors hate that. It's the flippers that like it. That's the draw.
Well, yeah, especially if you like are somebody capable of doing the grading yourself, and by being capable, I mean like you can print your own labels and put it in a plastic box yourself.
Yeah, but nobody recognizes people like. If I started doing that and just called it, Greg's labeling service or some crap, most people aren't going to recognize that.
Yeah, but the people who are actually doing that, they're no better authority. Who do you think's flipping this shit?
They're sending it off to actual companies to be graded.
I bet you it's the actual grading companies, like employees of the actual grading companies.
Well, I mean, it could be.
That.
Definitely could be.
Well, think about it. You're printing money. All you got to do is like self-grade your own shit. If you're part of one of those companies, and you get to pretend it's worth 3 times as much.
I bet they regret messing with me.
It's a good scam, actually. Maybe we should do it. Hey, look.
Yeah,
Nathan...
become employees of these companies?
No, start our own.
Oh. You put up all the money, I'll do the grading.
Nathan Greg Game Grading. N3G. There we go. No, just call it Greg's Game Grading. Then we can just go with 3G. Keep the podcast name. Then they have other employees buy the listings, pretending it's worth that price. Yeah, there was a big scam. I can't remember the name of the company, but yeah, there's a big scandal about them doing exactly that a few years ago. We talked about it on the podcast. So no, it's a huge scam. It's a huge scam.
Hey, I got the trophy I was praying to RNG Jesus to get.
So I beat a game over the week, and I wrote a review for Fantasy Life I.
We haven't even talked about Doom, but yeah, go ahead, Fantasy Life. So we got a little review of Coffee Talk. Fans of the first one will like it. Should go get it. I'm sure it's cheap enough. Did you know they're making a third one?
Yes. In Tokyo, right?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. I've got it wishlisted on PSN. So that, in a year or two when it's half price, I can buy it. Are there 2 of these statues here? Okay. I mean, I'll take it. Just praying to a statue in a dungeon so you get some stakes. Alright, so, there are some good points and bad points to Fantasy Life. On the plus side, the game is adorable as hell. Your characters are all like little chibi bobbleheads. I don't like the art style.
You hate chibi.
I dislike it.
From what I've seen from you playing it, it looks like that new Link's Awakening style is what it looks like.
It kind of is. It's like the characters are half the head body proportion of even something like Story of Seasons, which is kind of like the edge of my chibi preference. I will say that it is admittedly cute at times, and it is kind of helpful that everything in the game follows this art style. Like, even dragons have ginormous heads and tiny little bodies. So that kind of helps unify things a little bit. But, this game doesn't tell a story that's worth a damn. It's not quite like the light versus the darkness, but the time travel stuff is so understated. You would think it'd be a more prominent part of the game. It's just like, oh, we went through a portal at the beginning, and now we can just kind of go between 3 maps. One is past and present, and then just a big landmass called ginormosia. And there's a little bit of spoilers onto what some of the stuff is, but it's nothing. It's not like a slave obeys, right? When you hear the tagline for Fantasy Life I actually spoken in the game, you're not gonna be like, that's where it is. You know where it's coming from, like an hour into the game. So there's no real good plot twists or just really any character growth or development here. It's not really a game about that. It's a game. I don't know. Its focus seems a little weird to me because it takes a lot of those typical life sim elements, and I know Jared's gonna be there like just grabbing his chair's armrest in furious anger, but it's a life sim, all right? You can try and it's a life sim. It's a life sim, and they put some numbers behind some of the standard life sim elements. They've made a class out of mining. They made a class out of cutting down trees. They made a class out of fighting. 4 of them actually. Slow life RPG. I think
this is like MMO level stuff where you make classes out of things.
Yeah. So like
this is what Final Fantasy 14 did and 11.
When I first started playing it, I was like, okay, they want you to get a life, and they kind of make a big deal out of it. And I'm like, all right, so these lives are going to be kind of important. And then you unlock your second life, and you realize that, all right, so when you have like a combat life and a gathering life, let's say you're a paladin, which I was, and you unlock the mining life. All that happens is when you go up to a ore vein, you switch from paladin to miner. Which
you don't have to go out as miner.
Yeah. I mean, you have different loadouts for each one, but there's no reason why like everything except the pickaxe can't be identical. And you see an ore vein, you switch to miner. You see a enemy, you switch back to paladin. So it's not that in-depth stuff, and it kind of feels like of all the classes, only the combat ones really matter, because that's what you'll be playing most of the time. And the other ones, you'll only play them when you're actually like doing the gathering minigame. And there's also like 6 crafting lives, and those are even more of an afterthought, because the only time those functionally really exist is when you're like doing the crafting minigame, which is entirely isolated from the rest of the experience. Like, you interact with a workbench, and boom, now you are a carpenter, and you're playing the same exact minigame for all 6 of these crafting lives. There's like 3 little stations in front of your character, and you've got to switch between stations and do an action based on an icon on top of the screen. Like, for the forge crafting life, you've got like a hammer and anvil as one station, you've got tongs as another, and then you've got like a pool of water to cool things down. And if it shows like a hammer icon on the top of the screen, you got to go to the hammering station. And then sometimes you have to hold a button down, sometimes you have to mash a button. So Greg couldn't play this game, I'm sorry to say.
Oh my god.
Sometimes you gotta, like, a few lives have a really annoying third feature where you have to like rotate the analog stick. And that didn't bug me at first, but when I was like grinding up my alchemy life, that really got annoying really quick. I'm not even bad at it, it's just like, I don't know, I got sick of doing it after a while. So all those jobs functionally only exist when you're crafting at a workbench in a minigame completely isolated from everything else in the game. You can run around as a like tailor, but you can't fight. So there's no reason for you to ever be a tailor outside of the minigame. And like there's no prompt except for a workbench that will switch you into those lives. So functionally, you are a combat class who will switch between 4 gathering classes. And I don't really think that that's like a huge twist on just having a pickaxe in your inventory and selecting it. Like,
no.
It's a little bit less busy work, but it's not it's not a completely like new concept compared to Story of Seasons or Stardew Valley or anything. It's doing the same thing. They're just every class has its own levels and skill tree, and most of the skill trees are the same. And
That was all smooth sailing.
after you've made progress in one class, i.e. your combat class, and you've opened up more things in the main story, you'll find it much faster to level up everything else. So they don't really kind of get the same accomplishment vibes, because if you level up blacksmith early, right, you will have the ability to just craft the life tools for other classes. Like, you will be able to make a wood cutting axe that's super good, and you'll be able to just trounce all the early stages of the life cutting tree. And you will go through that in... You can become a master in some of these in like less than an hour. And each one of them has a life, or has like have ranks you can go through. Like, you start out a novice, and then you quickly go to fledgling, and that's basically where you begin the game. The novice phase is just like the tutorial. And then you go on to like apprentice, adept, expert, master, and then hero. So, I mean, like, okay, the 3DS, Jared says the 3DS might have been different where you didn't automatically change lives. I'm not going to say automatically changing lives is a bad thing. This game would be worse if you didn't automatically change. Like, if I had to go talk to an NPC every time I wanted to mine ore, that would make this game worse. And one of the good things about this game is that...
And if it was MMO style, that's exactly what
That's exactly what you'd have. You already have to talk to too many NPCs in this game. But you don't have to do it for, like, changing your life, i.e. class. That's what they are. They're basically your class. And another good part about this game, absolutely no inventory management whatsoever. None. Like, you don't have to worry about collecting too many things. If you get too many, you'll just automatically sell off any excess. But most items allow you to pick up like 99 or 999 of an item, and you're either not going to max out your inventory with those items, or you're not going to care. Like, I don't care that I have 99 apples, and any more apples I pick up are functionally waste, because apples haven't been gameplay relevant in 60 hours. So, a lot of the twists it tries to do,
Keep it up. I'm going to
I don't think the game lives up to its main gimmick. Like, it's called Fantasy Life, it should be Fantasy Lives, because you're gonna do a lot of them, and
keep it up.
they really don't feel like they define your character in any meaningful way. So, it's just a life sim. It's just a life sim with some RPG banners hung over it. And you will RPG up your stuff just by doing the life sim things. It's nothing. You do not approach or play this game like an RPG. You play it and approach it like a life sim,
Believe in yourself.
which isn't a bad thing because I like both genres. But if you were looking for a robust hybrid mixing the best parts of each, this is not it. Hi, Moxie. She's on the dog bed for some reason.
Yeah, but you liked it well enough to give it, what, an 8 out of 10?
It's an 8 out of 10. It's a solid game. The characters are likable. The art style is cute. Not a lot of depth in the story. Combat's not particularly great, but it is chill. It is charming. It will waste your time in a good way. And one thing that does stand out, the one last gasp that they tried to give their lives meaning was when you hit master rank, you will have a party to celebrate your accomplishment. And you will get a cutscene where somebody sings the absolute worst lyrics you have ever seen to a Nobuo Uematsu composed track.
Don't regret messing with me.
And
Wait, he did the music?
he did music. And one thing I will say about this, the absolute best, strongest part of this game is it does pay a little bit of effort to the gathering lives. Like, there are bosses in this game. There are dragons, there are big wolves, there's all kinds of stuff that you'll have to fight. And the combat isn't deep. I get through almost everything just by using my blade beam attack with my paladin, which has a shotgun effect if you get close, so
Is it called Sonic Blade?
it's called Sonic Blade, yeah. But Blade Beam, you understand what Blade Beam does, intuitively. She's a blue sword.
All
Okay.
that means makes it seem like you're going
Whatever. I think Final Fantasy when I think blade beams, like Cloud's blade beam. And this is much closer to that. So, oh, where was I? Train of thought. Right. So you expect like the boss music there and for it to be taken seriously, but there's also boss ore veins. There are boss trees. There are boss fish. There are boss vegetables. And granted, most of the gathering minigames are pretty much the same. Mining and woodcutting are very, very similar. But when you go up to a boss ore vein, and it's got a little golden crown above it, like a level 90 ore vein, and it starts playing that orchestral choir music, it's ridiculous, but it's nice that it's like even faking taking it seriously, even though you're just walking around an ore vein looking for sweet spots and mining it. That is cool. That is fun. So, the best selling point I can make for this game is, imagine you're a little chibi character with some companions, heroically mining a ore vein or cutting down a tree to, like, Nobio Umatsu boss music with choir in it. And that is...
I thought the music sounded like his style.
That is the best compliment I can pay this game. So yeah, 8 out of 10. It's a pretty good game. It does get a little bit grindy at the end, like stupid grindy. I'm doing these dumb treasure grove dungeons, which are just all random slop that has to be thrown into every game. I think they should just have like an end game dungeon where you can find the high end drops you're looking for without having to like RNG these dungeons over and over again. But that's just me. I'm kind of wants you to grind, and a lot of these mini games wear out their welcome. They wear out their welcome, and I'm just hoping that the stupid tree I'm looking for appears on a 500-year dungeon. I wish everything was in Ginormorphia too.
It's all RNG.
Yeah, well, some of the things are RNG. Some of the endgame materials are RNG. And that's not cool. Oh, hey, look at this! Look at this!
You just found something you needed?
My character's glitching. Okay. I was DSPing there.
I'll look.
No, it stopped. Like, I was trying to climb a ledge, but she was also, like, attaching to this ore deposit I was going after, and she, like, went through the floor for a second there. Anyways. Yeah, I gotta take a screenshot of this, because this is, like, I knew you could find these here, but I've never actually found one here, because they're easier to find somewhere else, so why would I care? There we go. There's a screenshot in case I want to put that in the guide. Which I don't. I'm done with that page. No, Jared's doing that page. So I have extra reason not to do it. Well, I've got you a screenshot, Jared, if you need it. But, yeah, there's some stuff that they want. Yes, you can buy those decorations at that merchant there, and then you can mine them, and that gives you I've heard that it takes like 8,000 gold a pop, which is nothing, but yes, I have heard that. Did I just get 2 dark gems from that? That seems awfully generous. Anyways, so I think it's good. I think it's a cute little game. I wouldn't have paid $60 to play it if I wasn't guiding it, and Steam didn't fuck me over. Because they use, like, whatever. They use EGS for their cloud saves, and I don't know. It was not working right on Steam. Yes, a Steam game was using EGS for cloud storage, and when you're trying to share it between a couple of people, things just got messy. Anyways. Maybe
you should quit the illegal cloud sharing.
No. You ever think about that?
Well, the pirates can't complain when the authorities come a knocking.
Yes, we can.
You can, but nobody cares about it.
Do you not hear me doing it right now?
Yeah, you're good at complaining no matter what the circumstance.
You know what? It's a talent. It's a talent. Thank you for recognizing it. But, I would say this game is a no-brainer at like $20. A lot of games are, to be fair, but yes, this game only has one save slot, and that sucks. And it wants to auto-save all the time, and let me tell you, oh, I might have made a mistake. Yeah, I gotta go do this. Yeah, okay. I forgot that. Okay, I should have gotten here earlier. Because I can't double back on myself. I forgot there's a little bit of...
Why is everything divided into years?
It's their time gimmick. Basically, the further down you go, the further in the past it is, and it just... All it does is represent how difficult it will be. It doesn't actually mean anything plot-wise, as far as I can tell. So, yeah, functionally just ignore it. It's the game does not delve deep into its own time gimmick, and I don't know why they even like have time as a gimmick, but they do. Because the time travel in this is so superficial. Like, it makes Legacy of Kain look like an enlightened time travel based game. Which it kind of is. It kind of is. Legacy of Kain, this is not. It's got time travel, but, you know, it's not... I don't even want to say it's not integral, it's just trivial. Anyways, Doom! The Dark Ages! Greg! You beat it!
Doom. Yep, finally beat it. It is, I gave it a review. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think you are slightly lower on that than I am.
I think 7.5, yeah.
I'm in 7.5 to 8 out of 10. That's slightly lower. That's fair. I mean, it's completely different than Eternal. You're a tank. It is exactly what I said when we first started playing it, and I'm like, oh, this has quite a few differences, you know. It's good. The Rock'em Sock'em parts and the Dragon parts, they were all made to be. They break up the gameplay nicely. They do their job well. The countering, the parrying, like once you level up those shield runes, parrying is like the most important part of that fucking game.
It's the most important part from the very beginning, I think. Like,
you can get away with maybe the first quarter of the game not parrying, but
yeah, you can shield bash
like
your way through things.
After the, like, you got to get good at it at some point if you want to get through that game.
I'd say once Cyber Demons start showing up, and they show up like by I think mission 5. So 5 or 6. I think it's 5. I think 5 is when you're on one of the ships is when a first Cyber Demon. Yeah, you're not beating a Cyber Demon without parrying. I think the boss at the end of 4 wants you to parry too, but there's good and bad to the parrying. Like, I don't find the parrying very hard at all. You don't really get penalized that much if you
I think
parry.
you can beat a Cyber Demon without parrying, but you probably can't beat that boss at the end of 8 without parrying.
Probably not. You can probably beat a Cyber Demon, but you got to keep in mind that eventually Cyber Demons just become like mini bosses. You know, actually,
Yeah,
they start out as mini
Cyber
bosses.
Demons become just plain old regular enemies by the end.
So you can beat one, but you're not going to make it through the stage if you don't figure out how to parry. I don't think the parry timing is all that hard. You don't really get penalized if you parry too early. You just your shield takes some damage and enemies will knock you out of your guard. And that's bad. That's really bad. But you can recover health pretty easily in this game, and you've got a lying health bar. I am 100,000 million billion % convinced that health bar lies to you, and you've got a solid 25% of your life when it says you have 5%. Like, I will die on this show.
Or they're being merciful.
Maybe, but whatever it is, you are much harder to put down than you are to bring low. Put it that way. And I love the super shotgun in this game. It is fantastic. It is not as good as Doom 2 super shotgun, but it is still pretty good.
It's a good super shotgun, though.
It's a good super shotgun.
I like the normal shotgun.
I'm going to
Like, well, here's the good thing about having a super
For the
shotgun.
same reasons we've talked about before, is that it's more versatile, I feel.
It is. If you have the shotgun equipped, you also have the super shotgun equipped. You just press square and you switch between them. So it's
that's true.
It's very hard to argue against having the shotguns be in your rotation like all the time. I'm using that accelerator cycler on one hand, and I'm using the shotgun super shotgun. Those are my go-to weapons. Anytime there's something big, super shotgun. Every time there's something far away, cycler. Every time there's just annoying enemies that I don't feel are worth a super shotgun blast, normal shotgun.
What about the shredder? You never switched to the shredder?
Not really.
I like switching to the shredder. It's fast.
I used to, because it had that ability where you can charge enemies up, that pincushion debuff, and then you throw your shield at them once they start glowing yellow.
Yeah.
And
then it turns them into a grenade.
It turns them, yeah. But I ultimately decided that like throwing my shield was just too much work when the other weapons were doing the job just fine. Like, it is so much easier to just shoot something with the cycler until they have the electrified debuff, shield charge them, and then hit them with the super shotgun. I feel like I'm less vulnerable, and I don't have to aim my shield.
Do a shield saw onto them and then super shotgun them.
I could.
That's the ultimate combo.
I've really stopped throwing my shield recently. Like, if there are enemies with their own shields that I have to get rid of, then I throw my shield at them. Otherwise, I tend not to throw my shield that much anymore. Like, I don't make that much use of out of that shield saw. So, I tend to just stand up and duel enemies with the shield and super shotgun. And, I don't know why DSP made that game look so difficult, because I'm not having trouble with it, just parrying things and shooting them in the face with a super shotgun. And I don't think that that's that elite, highbrow, or intelligent of a strategy. It's just very, very functional. So, it's a good game. It's a very stupid game. I have no idea what story they're trying to tell. I have zoned out a long time ago.
I think one of the weakest things about that story is that they don't tie it into 64 or Doom 2016 whatsoever.
Yeah,
like,
so
it's
far
just kind of floating. It's just kind of floating in the middle of those two.
It's something Doom Guy did when he was in between his other games, and just go with it because we gave you a shield with a chainsaw on the rim. What more do you fucking want?
Yeah. Well, then why are you putting out these giant codexes?
I mean, I'm reading the codexes. I like reading the codexes. I just don't understand the story. There's some king. There's some sentinel people. There's some makers. I don't know what anybody is or what they're doing or any of that shit, but I don't really care. It's Doom. It's a big, dumb Doom game. It's over the top. It's stupid. And that's okay. That's okay.
It's dumb fun, which is what everybody wanted.
Yeah. Some people are taking this too seriously. Like, they wanted Doom to be something more than it actually is. It is bombastic, demon-killing gameplay. Is it a bit more methodical and slower paced and focused on parrying than other Doom games were? Sure. Sure, but not, this is the Far Cry Primal of the Doom series. And I am fine with that. I like Far Cry Primal. I'm not ashamed to admit. So, yeah, I'll probably forget about this game in a few months. Like, not entirely, but I don't think it'll be, like, leaving a lingering impact. It's not something I'll talk about years down the line. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll still be talking about it, but it's probably not gonna be like Nier Automata or BioShock or any of that. You know?
No, but another thing I mentioned in my review is that when I got done playing Doom Eternal and the DLCs, there was 2 DLCs, I distinctly recall thinking to myself, and Civvy said this too, where the hell do you go from here? Because it's so fast. Like, I cannot handle, in my limited human capacity, any faster. Or any more, like, go, go, go. Like,
Well, the
can't do
answer
it.
is you go slower and make a parry-based game around the shield.
Yeah, that was the answer.
And you know what? If they made a Doom the Dark Ages 2, I would be interested. I would be interested. I would do this again. Maybe it doesn't need to be that long. I do feel like it's running out of steam here. Near the end. But you know what? If you can't just have fun and bonk enemies with a fucking flail and a shield, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
Shoot him with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Like, that's some cathartic release.
And I've
Same
seen
reason
people...
why I like Left 4 Dead for so much.
I like the more methodical gameplay in the Dark Ages. I'm not saying it's better, but I am more capable of it. So I like it more. That might just be a personal thing. Like I can get into a rhythm with Doom the Dark Ages and have a fine time going through it. The buried equipment can be retrieved outside of treasure groves. Okay. I feel like we're going to want a page on this. But... Oh, what do I want to bury? Do I want to bury a weapon? I'm not really having trouble with combat. But I could always have less trouble with combat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's the next best weapon? Ooh, some of these are shit.
Surprised to keep so many in the same one.
Maybe I should bury my Sword of Time.
What does burying things do for you?
It's supposed to make it better, but I've never done it before. I'm going to go bury my Sword of Time. If I can find the damn thing. I need to go through and sell my weapons. I have too many of them just stinking up the joint. There it is. I should bury it with something cool. A cool material that's like 5 stars.
Yeah, always do your best stuff if it makes it better.
Well, I don't actually know what this is gonna do.
How do you not know?
I've never done this before. I mean, I guess we're all gonna find out together, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, I keep hearing online that Doom the Dark Ages has met mixed reception, and I'm wondering where this mixed reception actually is, because like it's like 80-some% positive on Steam. It's got an 80-something Metacritic. I just don't see who is actively not liking this game.
Maybe they're just not blown away.
I mean, it's fine if you don't like it. I'm just not actually seeing the dislike of it that people are saying exists. Now, the sales are another issue. I am curious about the sales because they said that they had 3 million players, and you know, when a company says that they've shipped or that X million people have played it, it's like, all right, why aren't you using the word sales? You know? And I've heard that like 2 million of those players were from Game Pass, and I'm just like, well, you know, that's definitely a Microsoft problem. You can just bury a whole bunch of these? Oh no! Oh, you can only bury 4. Okay, well, I'll bury it with 4 legendary shiny diamonds. Wait, what does that change on the bottom there? Oh, okay, so that outright maxes it out. So what does 3 get me? Okay. Okay, I see what it's doing now. I see what it's doing. Okay, I see what it's doing. Buried equipment ages with each treasure grove completed. Alright, but how do I know when it's maxed out? Is there any way to know? Or do I have to do a 1,000 year one to max it out? Because I don't think I'm capable of doing a 1,000 year one. I gotta get better. I gotta get a better axe for cutting down trees, a better rod for fishing.
What's the trophy guide look like on that game?
It's a grind. It's a grind, that's for sure. I still don't have a platinum, and I don't think I'm particularly close. You gotta get every life to hero rank. Which sounds worse than it is, but that basically does mean you've got to find a whole bunch of end game materials and just do a bunch of grinding to get them. Because if you just had to like get 1 life up to hero rank, that's easy. That's easy. I've got like 4 or 5 in that hero already. But like, when you need that one item, because you gotta do like little quests, right? You gotta meet objectives to rank up lives. And for the crafting lives, that means you've got to craft a bunch of stuff. And at, you know, master rank, you got to craft some stuff that requires endgame material, some of which you can only get as RNG from a certain boss, or even worse, get as RNG from these stupid treasure groves. And I just don't have all the materials I need to finish up the master rank on like my wood cutting life. So.
Wasn't so bad.
Proceed to the next floor. Don't mind if I do. So it's a grind. It's a grind. It's not something you're going to do in a weekend. Sorry, Greg.
Yeah, it's a shame. This Dave the Divers is kind of a grind too.
I thought you got the trophy you needed in that.
Yeah, I got other ones though. You gotta rank somebody up to level 20. You gotta get like 5 of these Pokemon things. It's a grind.
I don't know if I'll platinum this, but honestly, I think I'll probably be doing map work next week, which is good because that means I'm gonna get paid another week for this. But I assume, I don't know. That's the hope right now. But don't worry, Greg. I'm gonna be doing some Doom soon. Probably right after this podcast. Actually, that was,
oh good, we should end it.
We should end it. Doom the Dark Ages?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay, I get the joke. I got you. I'm a little slow.
Oh my god, so bad.
I woke up at like 6:30, right? Because, you know, I'm on the overnight sleep schedule. And I was like, I was clever, right? I took some ground beef out of the freezer and put it in the fridge because I'm gonna make spaghetti sauce. I had my chili last week. It's time to rotate into spaghetti sauce. That's just how this works. Why am I breaking these ore ingots? I don't need those. And I woke up at 6:30. The meat had been in the fridge since about 10 o'clock, about when I went to bed. And I do the dishes. So I'm gonna do the dishes. I do the dishes when Rebecca's at work. and she does the dishes the other. That's a division of labor, division of household duties, right? So I do the dishes, and I go grab the meat out of the fridge, and the fucking shit's still frozen. I'm like, motherfucker. I don't know why I assumed keeping it over, like, in the fridge over the day would freeze it, or unfreeze it, but it didn't. Didn't even come close. So now it's sitting on the stove. I was hoping to have that stuff cook over the podcast so I could have some, not spaghetti, I think I'm going to eat some wheat elbow noodles with it first day, but we'll see what I do. But that's what I was looking forward to, but instead, I had to have a bowl of Cheerios, Greg. Before the podcast.
I like Cheerios though.
I do too. I put honey on top of it. It's good. It's fucking good. No, I don't eat Honey Nut Cheerios, mostly because
lame.
I don't know why.
What is even the point?
I kind of prefer just drizzling honey over normal Cheerios over eating Honey Nut Cheerios. I like the Honey Bunches of Oats though. Oh man, I love that shit.
Those are great.
Rebecca says if she wasn't allergic to oats, she would eat Cheerios. I am still a fan of good old-fashioned Raisin Bran too. It's just I've been eating a lot of Raisin Bran recently, and I wanted to get do something different. I wish this shit was cheaper. It's still like $2.50 a box
Raisin
for
Bran?
like Honey Nut Cheerios and all that stuff. It's like $2.50 a box for a little box, and it's like it seems like a lot.
That's why you get the store brand.
That's true. The generics. Well, see, my mom still, like, my parents all work on the military base still. Well, my dad just retired.
Oh, so they get tax-free, right?
Yeah, he took one of those fucking Trump buyouts, so we'll see how this goes. We'll see. Anyways, but my mom still sometimes goes to the commissary and they have those case lot sales, and sometimes they'll just have a fucking box of that cereal I like for cheap, and I'll get a call from her, just out of nowhere. I'm at the commissary, they're having a case lot sale. Do you want some Honey Bunches of Oats? I'm like, fuck yeah, go give me a box of that shit. And so I'll get a box of it, and I'll have Honey Bunches of Oats for a few months. But it's been a while since that's happened, though. She's been slacking. She needs to get her ass out there and give me some more cereal via case lot sale. She also buys too much stuff, and then it sits in her house, and then she's like...
Yeah, when it's expired or about to expire, she's like, you want some cereal?
I'm like, sure, I'll eat some expired cereal. What's it gonna hurt?
Heck yeah. I would.
So... I ain't ashamed that I get stuff from my mommy. It's not like I'm asking her for it. She calls me and says, hey, if some nice old lady called you and said, hey, I'm at the grocery store, do you want me to pick up this big box of stuff that they have here? You do it too. You do it too.
I'd settle for just the mom, Nathan.
No. Now he's dragging the orphan into this again. No one cares about your little orphan sob story.
Wait, was she saying that I shouldn't have a mom? What was she saying?
What did you say, Rebecca? You can adopt a mom?
He's got an adopted.
Oh, you got an adopted mom. Yeah, I mean, you got a mother-in-law. Just make her your mommy. That's what Rebecca did with my parents.
Yeah, they don't give me stuff from Idaho though.
Well, what can they get you from Idaho?
I should
Potatoes?
look closer, I guess.
Ooh, Idaho.
Yeah, get a case lot of potatoes.
Idaho's
Probably
bars.
worth it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. See, my parents are from Wisconsin. They got that lake house up there, yadder hey. So, they get me cheese. They'll go up there and they'll get cheese curds. Have you ever had cheese fries?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically
I've been up there and had the curds.
They're pretty good. Have you had them deep fried?
Yes.
Okay. Amazing, right?
They have those at this place called
They are hard to deep fry. Those.
Cookout.
Rebecca,
And they're really good, but they give you like 5 little ones
Cheese gets out. You have to...
as an order, and it's not enough.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, like I think they where my parents go, they sell them. They sell the curds, the uncooked curds, in a bag, like a pound of them. I don't know much. I think it's a couple bucks. I think it's like $4 or $5 to get that. Then you gotta deep fry them yourself if you want them deep fried. But we just eat them. We just eat them plain. They're good. And yes, they make that fucking squeak noise. So.
Your mom is like, I only like them when they're warm.
Yeah, she's weird. But they'll get us blocks of that cheese up there, which honestly I don't think is that good.
Free. She keeps forgetting to get me the pepperoni one, which is the best one. She's like, you want the bacon one? No, I want the pepperoni one.
Okay, so I got a trophy for that, but I'm not sure what the trophy was. I gotta go look. Time capsule.
Between Doom, Coffee Talk, Tales of Zillia, that one bolt gun game, Dave the Diver.
Yeah, you've beaten quite a few of them. You know what game you
And
should
it
play
seems
next?
to be like a wide variety of fucking games too. AI.
Oh yeah, AI. You know what game we should play next?
Nirvana Initiative.
The original Baldur's Gate! Get on it!
Oh my god.
What, is it that bad of an idea?
No, I guess it isn't a horrid idea.
That'd be something that'd be fun to play together. Not like as a multiplayer game, but simultaneously, although we would never keep pace with each other. Gare, someone's using my foot as a pillow. Do you know who it is? Rebecca.
Is it Boo-Boo?
It is Boo Boo.
Back to work already?
Your ship's about to
I think I have those on PlayStation, like digital copies too. Actually, if I was gonna play it, I'd
Are
really
they
want.
on PlayStation?
Yeah, they're on PlayStation.
Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you not have them as physical copies yet? What is wrong with you? Go buy them! Oh. To PlayStation or? Oh, it doesn't want to load the full page. Okay, whatever. I'll bug you with that later.
I'll show you what I
Because,
really got.
I could definitely stand to play through Baldur's Gate again, especially if there's trophies online, you know what I'm saying? Well, if
Oh,
anything,
yeah, it's a good incentive.
if I really want to play through I really want to play through Planescape Torment again.
Take this.
Like, I did one full playthrough of it ages ago. About 20 years ago now. I was in college at the time. And,
Oh, I've got a more recent playthrough than you do.
yeah. Yes, you do.
That should disgust you.
I bet they're
Not really.
agreeing with me.
I mean, I played the fuck out of that game.
That was all smooth sailing.
I sat there and grinded stats until I had like 25 and everything, so I could do all the dialogue options. I had multiple saves, so I could replay the game again at various points to see how different things turned out. Like, I played through that game. That was a playthrough complete enough to satiate me for a long time.
Don't think I'll go easy. Take
That was all smooth sailing.
I don't know, we've had a lot of okay, fine, good games this year, but we've not had a lot of great games, you know? I know everyone will say Expedition 33, nah, yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? That
Nah.
game's tearing up the charts.
Nah,
Tearing up the charts.
I don't have to agree. It's fine. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Monster Hunter Wilds are both better, honestly.
To work already?
I mean, we'll talk about it in depth once you guys have played it, but
Show you what I really got.
there's some serious bed shitting going on in there, and I'm sure I'll be the only one to think it, but
Believe in yourself.
doesn't change the fact that I do in fact think it.
I have started another game recently.
Oh no.
One of the worst rated Tales games.
You're just
And
trying
I've been playing through some Tales games, as you know.
you're just trying to speedrun that series. So you're not platinuming any of these, are you? You're just playing them all
Oh
on like
fuck no.
okay.
Some of the ones I'm playing don't even have trophies.
Oh, that's not true. What are you doing? Playing them on PC?
Yeah,
Emulating them? PS2 games?
yeah.
What was this
Exactly
about?
what-
What was this about thieves not being able to something we talked about?
At least I own the game.
Thief. Hey, I own Fantasy Life.
Do you?
Yes. I'm playing it on a PlayStation right now.
Yeah, only because you couldn't share it with somebody.
Yeah, fair. I still own it. That's the point. That's the takeaway here, okay? Focus on that. Stop trying to distract people with your correct intangibles.
Yeah. Anyway, you don't know much about the Tales series, so I was gonna have you guess, but that's dumb.
Yeah, I played like
Um,
halfway through Berseria.
Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World.
Never heard of it.
Any Tales fan would have been like, Tales, you call Tales of Symphonia one of the worst ones? That would have flayed me alive. That would have been like me saying, well, I've been playing one of the worst Final Fantasies lately. Final Fantasy VII. You son of a bitch, how dare Advent Children, you know. Something like that. That was the takeaway there.
Well, Advent Children isn't a game.
Yeah, I know it isn't. Shut up. Crisis Core. Whatever. You get
No,
it.
Crisis Core's good. You got to do that like Dirge of Cerberus. That's the one you
Yeah,
do.
Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus. Yeah, that would have been a more apt comparison.
There you go.
But
That's
we'll
what-
see. I don't know. It's I mean, it's not great so far. You have monster companions. This is like the Final Fantasy 13-2 so far of Tales games. The models have been downright horrible. I don't know. This game came out on the Wii.
Hey, I own a Wii.
Yeah, you sure do.
Well, I mean, at this point, I might as well just wait for the PlayStation port of it, because, like, they're all getting ported to PlayStation, so, you know.
It did come out on the PlayStation. It came out on the PS3. It's like 6 years after it came out on the Wii.
You know what I'm talking about. PlayStation 4 remake, or not remake, port.
Yeah. I don't know. You say that, but I don't think they're going to give it the time of day. They put out Tales of Symphonia, but I don't think they give two shits about the New World.
So is it like a sequel or a spin-off?
This would have been, yeah, it's a sequel. This would have been, like, ideally, this would have been something you're like, why don't they just put out both in one package? Because that's what they did on the PS3.
Well, because that would require effort and providing value to the consumer and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I probably should. I think I'm just hung up on Tales of Berseria. Like, I can't figure out that combat system in a way that makes me have fun playing it. Like, I'm not having trouble with anything, but I'm gonna get to a boss that I can't just mash my way through, and I'm not gonna understand how to get, like, how to rectify that. And I'm just not sure. Like, I need a guide. I need a guide to tell me what moves to use for each character and when to use them. I'm not having that problem with Orion.
Tales of Berseria is one of the easier ones to understand.
Is it?
Because the moves basically tell you what type of enemy they're good on.
So you should just make a moveset complete with like a 5-move combo that's like only good against flyers, only good against whatever. You just do like a complete moveset that's only good for one enemy.
Yeah, and do 4 different ones, and then call it a day.
Well, not every character has 4 different ones. Oh, you mean 4
no,
different
just-
combos? Okay, I see.
Yeah, 4 different combos just on what's your face, what's your butt, and call it a day. I had one combo that was good on like slimes, and it was good on like 2 things. That's it, because there's more than, you know.
So what
There's
you're
more
saying
than,
is, I should play that game like this. Square button is good against flying enemies. X button is good against armored enemies. Triangle button is good against blah 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 blah. And that's
Yes.
that's all the thinking I need to do.
Yeah.
So I'm overthinking it.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be this hard.
Hey,
You could put more thought into it, but you don't need to.
follow my lead.
Okay.
I also have 2 new platinums.
Oh no.
One for a free-to-play game called Peace Out Avatar Land, where you
No.
put puzzle pieces onto a board and make a puzzle.
No. Get to something better.
And the second one for a Doom 1 clone called Damon Fall that is horrid, just bad, just like the worst type of Doom gameplay you can imagine.
Why did you stick
long
through it?
As long as you keep moving, you can't get hit by these zombies.
So, Baldur's
'Cause I
Gate
got a
playthrough
platinum
win?
in like 20-25 minutes. That's why.
Baldur's Gate playthrough win?
Will it take me 25 minutes?
No.
See? You ask dumb questions.
Like, you gotta beat it on, like, a higher difficulty, and I don't honestly think it'd be that
So they
hard.
really make you earn it.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be that hard, because you don't have to go through, like, Durlag's Tower on the higher difficulty. So, I don't know, you might be able to just import your character from the previous save, too, which would make things a lot easier.
Alright, it's that time.
Alright, but, yeah, we ran out of news a while ago. I don't know what's gonna happen next week.
You should go look up what people say about this Tales of Symphonia. You've heard of Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, I think I own it.
Yeah, it's like the Final Fantasy VII of Tales games. It's
Is
when
it?
everyone... Yeah, well, to me, that's what I've always called it, because it made the series popular just like Final Fantasy VII did for Final Fantasy. But it did it later, and it did it like on the GameCube, and it was an action RPG instead of a turn-based RPG. Like,
And it
really,
didn't stay popular because it's just not.
I mean, people really liked it. We'll talk more about it. I desperately need to go to the bathroom.
Alright, so that'll do it for episode 445 of the 3G Podcast. Greg needs to take shit. Till next time,
Yep, yep.
see y'all later.
Bye! I'll be right back.